At just 21 years old, Millie Bobby Brown went from battling monsters in the Upside Down to changing diapers in real life.
I do love kids. I grew up having a baby in the house. So for me, yeah, I do really connect with kids.
The internet is absolutely losing its mind over her shocking decision to adopt a baby with husband Jake Bongiovi, and the reactions are more divided than Hawkins itself.
For me, like, I don't see having your own child, as really any different as in adopting. So
some are calling her brave, others are saying she's way too young, and a few are even questioning if this whole thing is just another publicity stunt. But here's what nobody saw coming. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision at all. On August 21st, 2025, Millie's Instagram went nuclear. One simple post, 3 little words that sent shockwaves through social media.
I feel like anything's out, because for me, like, my home is full of love for anyone and anything.
And then there were 3. The couple announced they had welcomed a baby girl through adoption, posting a photo of tiny baby hands with the caption revealing their new journey into parenthood. Within hours, the post exploded with millions of likes, thousands of comments, and a comment section that looked like a battlefield. The reactions were immediate and brutal. Twitter became a war zone of opinions, with hashtags trending faster than Stranger Things episodes drop on Netflix. Some fans celebrated with heart emojis and congratulations, while others expressed genuine shock and concern. The Entertainment Tonight coverage called it unexpected, and honestly, that was putting it mildly. Nobody was prepared for Netflix's Golden Girl to suddenly become a mom before she could even legally drink in some states. But the announcement was just the beginning of what would become one of the most controversial celebrity decisions of 2025. The real drama was about to unfold in ways nobody anticipated. The backlash hit like a Demogorgon attack. Social media exploded with criticism about Millie's age, with countless users expressing disbelief that someone so young would choose adoption. Comments ranged from concern about her maturity to outright criticism of the decision, with many pointing out that most 21-year-olds are still figuring out their careers, not raising children. The criticism got personal fast. People started dissecting her appearance, claiming she looked older than her age, and questioning whether the pressures of fame had forced her to grow up too quickly. Some comments were particularly harsh, with users saying things like, "This is what happens when child stars miss out on being kids, and she's trying to fill a void with a baby." The speculation reached fever pitch when tabloids started running stories about her looking tired and overwhelmed in recent paparazzi shots. What made it worse was the timing. The adoption news came during a particularly busy period in her career, with multiple projects in development and Stranger Things entering its final phase. Critics questioned how she could balance motherhood with the demanding schedule of a Hollywood A-lister, especially at such a young age. The appearance scrutiny became relentless, with every public outing dissected for signs of stress or regret. But what the critics didn't know was that this controversy was based on a fundamental misunderstanding of Millie's long-term plans. Here's where the story takes a complete turn. While the internet was busy having a meltdown about Millie's sudden decision, old interviews started resurfacing that revealed the shocking truth. This was never sudden at all. In previous conversations, Millie had openly discussed her desire to become a young mother, following in her own mother's footsteps, who had her first child at 21. She had previously expressed her wish to be a young mom, stating that motherhood had always been a priority for her. The revelation hit fans like a ton of bricks. Suddenly, those random comments about wanting a family someday soon in old red carpet interviews made complete sense. She wasn't acting impulsively. She was following a carefully planned life blueprint. Jake Bongiovi, it turns out, was completely on board from the beginning. Sources close to the couple revealed that they had discussed their family timeline extensively, and adoption was always their preferred route to parenthood. The decision wasn't made in a Hollywood bubble either. It was rooted in genuine conversations about values, timing, and their shared vision for their future together. What's even more surprising is how methodically they approached everything. From their private wedding ceremony to their choice of where to live, every decision was made with their future family in mind. This wasn't a young celebrity making reckless choices. It was a young woman executing a plan she'd been developing for years. While most young celebrities flocked to Los Angeles penthouses or New York high rises, Millie and Jake made a completely different choice that nobody saw coming. They settled on a farm in Georgia, deliberately choosing a rural lifestyle away from the Hollywood spotlight. The property isn't just a house, it's a full working farm with animals, gardens, and the kind of privacy that money can't buy in Beverly Hills. The Georgia choice was strategic on multiple levels. First, it gave them the anonymity they needed to go through the adoption process without tabloid interference. Second, it provided the kind of childhood environment Millie wanted for her future children: fresh air, open spaces, and a connection to nature that's impossible to find in major cities. The farm lifestyle also gave them a sense of normalcy that's rare in the entertainment industry. What's fascinating is how they've managed to keep this entire setup under wraps for so long. While paparazzi were busy stalking celebrity hotspots in LA and New York, Millie was building her dream life in rural Georgia, preparing for motherhood in complete privacy. The farm has everything from rescue animals to organic gardens, creating the perfect environment for raising children away from the toxic atmosphere of Hollywood. The location choice also explains why the adoption announcement caught everyone off guard. They weren't living in the celebrity bubble where every move gets leaked to the press. They were genuinely building a private family life in a place where privacy is still possible. The timing of Millie's motherhood journey coincides with what might be the busiest period of her entire career. Stranger Things is filming its final season while she's simultaneously promoting multiple upcoming projects, including major film roles and her expanding beauty business ventures. The logistics alone seem impossible. How do you balance feeding schedules with film shoots or diaper changes with red carpet appearances? Industry insiders are fascinated by how she's managing it all. Recent paparazzi shots show her at premieres looking radiant, then spotted days later in casual mom gear running errands in Georgia. The contrast is striking. One day she's 11 saving the world, the next she's a regular mom picking up baby formula at Target. The duality of her life right now is unlike anything we've seen from young celebrities before. What's particularly interesting is how her career choices are now being viewed through the lens of motherhood. Her decision to take on fewer projects and be more selective with her commitments suddenly makes sense when you realize she was planning for a family all along. The strategic career moves that seem conservative for a 21-year-old now look like the calculated decisions of someone preparing for major life changes. The real test will be how she handles the Stranger Things finale promotion while being a new mom. Netflix has reportedly been accommodating with scheduling, but the pressure to deliver on one of their biggest franchises while managing a newborn is unprecedented in Hollywood. The internet's reaction split into two distinct camps, and the battle lines couldn't be clearer. On one side, you have critics questioning everything from her maturity level to her motives, with some suggesting the adoption is just another way to stay relevant as Stranger Things ends. These critics point to her young age and the pressures of fame as red flags, arguing that 21 is simply too young for such a major life decision, but the defenders came out swinging just as hard. Supporters highlighted her financial stability and emotional maturity, pointing out that she's been the primary breadwinner for her family since she was a child and has demonstrated remarkable responsibility throughout her career. They argue that her age is irrelevant when she has the resources, support system, and genuine desire to provide a loving home for a child. The resurfaced interviews became ammunition for both sides. Critics used her past comments about wanting to be young mom as evidence that she's trying to rush through life milestones, while supporters saw them as proof that this was a thoughtful, long-term plan. The debate reached peak intensity when old clips showed her talking about adoption specifically, not just biological children, proving this wasn't a backup plan, but her preferred choice all along. What's particularly telling is how the criticism has evolved from concern to outright judgment about her appearance and behavior. Comments about her looking too old or too young, depending on the outlet, reveal more about society's impossible standards for young women than about Millie's actual situation. So, what's really happening here? The truth is more complex than either the critics or defenders want to admit. Millie Bobby Brown isn't just another young celebrity making impulsive decisions. She's a young woman who's been planning this path for years with the financial resources and support system to make it work. But she's also navigating unprecedented territory as one of the youngest A-list celebrities to choose motherhood at the peak of her career. The adoption choice specifically challenges Hollywood norms in ways that make people uncomfortable. Choosing adoption over biological children, especially at a young age, breaks conventional expectations about how celebrities start families. It's a decision rooted in genuine conviction rather than circumstance, and that authenticity is both refreshing and threatening to people who expect celebrities to follow predictable patterns. What we're really witnessing is a young woman refusing to let her career define her entire identity. While her peers are focused solely on maintaining relevance and building their brands, Millie made a choice to prioritize family alongside career success. That's either inspiring or terrifying, depending on your perspective on what young women should prioritize. The real question isn't whether she's too young or too successful to be a mom. It's whether society is ready to accept that young women can make informed decisions about their own lives, even when those decisions don't match traditional timelines or expectations. This story isn't really about Millie Bobby Brown at all. It's about how we react when young women in the public eye make choices that challenge our assumptions about age, success, and motherhood. And based on the internet's meltdown, we clearly have a long way to go in accepting that maybe, just maybe, she knows what's best for her own life better than we do. What do you think? Is the criticism justified? Or are we just uncomfortable watching a young star write her own script? Let me know in the comments because this conversation is far from over.